So now we will discuss the nature of a business risk. We will discuss the nature of business risk on the basis of these points. I have written these points, and one by one we will discuss all these points. First is arises due to uncertainties. What it says that the business risk is arises due to uncertainties. What it says that the business risks arises due to uncertainties. Uncertainties means something which is going to happen, about which you are not sure that this will happen in the future. What is you are not sure of what is going to happen is fixed. What is uncertainties? When you are not sure that what is going to happen in future. First point is that business risk arises due to uncertainties, and what is uncertainties means something that is not sure that this will happen in future. Okay, and how it is arising due to uncertainties? So here we will take the same example. If there is change in demand, change in fashion, change in competitors' policy. If the competitor has reduced its price, then the demand for the competitor's product will increase. Okay, so these are the facts which are uncertain. We are not sure that this will happen in future. We are not sure that there will be change in the demand of the product. There can be change in as we know that every businessman know the policies that there can be, but here we are taking that the business is uncertainties, is related with the uncertainties, and the business risk arises due to uncertainties, and there is change. If there is change in demand, if there is change in demand, then there will be arising of business risk, because if there will be change in demand, then the product will get outdated. So this we can consider with the fashion also, that if there is change in fashion, then the product which are used before changing the product will get the outdated, and that will not be demanded. So here the businessman will face the losses due to change in fashion. So business risks are arising due to uncertainties, and if there is change in like these concepts, then the businessman will face the losses. Okay, and the second is uncontrolled conditions. We can interrelate this point with first point also, that these conditions are uncontrolled. If there is change in fashion, then the businessman cannot control over that condition. If there is change in competitor's policy, then also the businessman cannot control over that policy. Okay, he can make his own policies also, but that will also make the cost for the businessman. If the businessman is making the new planning as per the competitor's policy, that will also occur the cost. So the businessman faces the business risk due to uncertainties, and these uncertainties are uncontrolled. These cannot be controlled easily. Okay, so next is essential part of every business. Next part is essential part of every business. This is third point. As we know that no one can escape from the risk. Okay, if a person is doing the business, then he has to face the losses. Okay, third point is essential part of business. And we know that if anybody is doing the business, if a person is doing the business, he has to face the risk also. Okay, there is always risk in every task. Okay, if we are doing any task, then it is having the risk also. It may give the positive result or it may give the negative result. Okay, as we know that every point has two parts like that. This is also working that if we are doing any task, there is a task which a businessman is going to perform. It may give the positive result or it may give the negative result. Okay, suppose a product A is produced by the B. Okay, there is a dealer and who is producing the product A, or we can take the example of product X is produced by the B. Then product may have the more demands as expected, or it may have the no demand, or it may have the less demand. Okay, no demand we can say the initial demand only. Okay, minor. अगर थोड़ी सी ही डिमांड की जाती है, that we will kept in no demand. Okay, so we know that the business risk is essential part of every business. Every task is involving the risk. Okay, and if anybody is doing any task, it may have the positive result or negative result. No businessman can escape from the risk. Okay, every businessman has to face the losses. It can be at the higher level or at the lower level. Okay, if a person is very good in the market, means he is well reputed and he is gaining the too much profits and he is in such a position that he can beat anyone. Okay, that is the extraordinary condition, but every person has to face losses if he is doing the वर्क. ओके, अगर क्या है हम कोई भी काम कर रहे हैं तो उसके अंदर क्या है हमेशा मतलब हर एक टास्क क्या होता है कि टू साइड्स, ठीक है, टू साइड इफेक्टेड होता है, दैट कैन गिव द पॉजिटिव और द नेगेटिव रिजल्ट्स. नेक्स्ट इज डिग्री ऑफ रिस्क डिपेंड्स ऑन साइज एंड need. Okay, how it is depends on size. If a business is in large scale, ठीक है, business क्या है, large है, then there will be higher chances of the losses. Okay, higher chances of the losses. And if a business is working at the small scale, then there will be lower chances. Okay, because if a business is working at the large scale, then there will be more activities performed by the businessman. Okay, there will be more activities and there will be higher chances of occurring the business risk. If the businessman is working at a small scale, then there will be a lower scale, low chances of facing the business risk there, because there will be less business activities. Okay, and the second is it depends on the nature also, that which type of business a businessman is doing. If he is related with the fashion world, okay, if a business is doing the fashion business that is related to fashion world, then there will be more chances of losses, more business risk. Okay, because the fashion is changes time to time. ठीक है, क्या है, फैशन के अंदर टाइम टू टाइम चेंजेस करते हैं, so there will be more chances of risk. And if the business is related to necessary products, okay, it will have the lower risk. ठीक है, ये क्या है, because the necessary products will be purchased every time by the consumers, and if there is if the businessman is related with the fashion world, then there will be more chances of risk because the fashion is changes time to time. So next is reward for bearing risk. Next is the reward for bearing risk. So this is a very famous profession also, that if the businessman is ready to face the risk, then he will get the more stocks. Okay, this is the next is reward for bearing risk. How? If a person is ready to take the risk, then only the businessman can earn the profit. If the businessman will do no activity, अगर क्या है वो कोई काम ही नहीं करेगा, then there will be no profits. Okay, यहाँ पे क्या है, कोई भी profits नहीं होंगे. Higher the risk, higher risk taking capability will lead to more or higher profits. What is this? That if a businessman is ready to bear the risk, then only there will be possibility of more profit. If a businessman is getting afraid of facing the losses, then he will not be known as a successful businessman and he will not face the profits. Okay. Then if he will always have the afraid of bearing the losses, facing the losses, then he will be in the condition and he has to wind up his business. Okay. If a businessman is not performing any activity and he is not taking any projects of having the afraid of risk, then he cannot be a successful businessman. What is business? Business is reward for bearing risk. Means here we can relate with the profits also, that if a businessman wants to earn the more profits, then he has to be ready for bearing the risk also. ठीक है? क्यों क्या है कि if a businessman is not ready to bear the risk, then he cannot get the chance to earn the profit. Okay? If suppose if a businessman is proposed a project, ठीक है? अगर उसको एक project दिया जाता है and if we took this project in foreign also, we can say, okay? उसको क्या है प्रोजेक्ट मिलता है फॉरेन के अंदर एंड देयर आर टू डीलर्स ए एंड बी ए इज रेडी टू बियर दिस रिवार्ड दैट if he will accept this project then he will get the more profit, but he is not ready. He say that there will be the losses in the international market. ठीक है? And he took the opportunity and accepted this project and completed also. And he earned the unexpected profit. He earned the unexpected profit from that project and he became the most successful businessman in the market. ठीक है? अब क्या है ए ने वो अपॉर्चुनिटी ली और क्या है वो उसने क्या है इंटरनेशनल मार्केट के अंदर डील किया एंड ही गेट द unexpected profits from that project and due to which he become the most successful businessman in the international market. Okay, so in this condition we see that the person who is ready to bear the risk will get the more profit. Okay, so the business is always concerned or the related with the risk, but every businessman should accept the challenges and adopt the that protective policies also, so that he can bear the risk in the unfavorable conditions also. So students, today we have discussed about the business risk and its nature, that what is the business risk and what are its nature. Okay, so students, read this topic from book also. If you face any problem, you are free to ask. Thank you. Hello students, I welcome you in today's class, and today we will discuss a new topic of business studies, that is business risk and its type. Today we will discuss the meaning of business risk and the nature of the business risk. So what is the risk? Risk is the unexpected event or the probability of losses. Means we don't expect the losses in the business and that is known as risk. So what is risk? It refers to the probability of losses. It is probability of losses due to unexpected events. Means it is occurring due to that events which the businessman is not expecting for his business. Okay, एक businessman क्या है will never think about the losses. He will ever think for the profits only. Okay, so every businessman wants that there should be no losses and there should be more profits in the business organization, but we know that the business is related to uncertainties also, because there are too much uncertainties in the business. There is too much competitive world in the present condition. We know that there are too much competitive competitive markets established, and due to which there is increase in the business risk also, because there are too many competitors entered in the market who competes the others and makes more profit. So what is business risk? It is arises due to unexpected events, okay, and which are beyond control. Means these cannot be controlled by the businessman, because these are uncontrolled events which makes the losses in the business organization. What can be the example? Okay, there is change in the demand of the product. Change in demand of the product due to change in taste. अब क्या है? एक पर्सन के टेस्ट में चेंज होने की वजह से देयर विल बी चेंज इन द डिमांड. He will change his demand for the product. Suppose earlier he was consuming a product, and now there is change in taste. Now there is change in taste and he goes to product B. So he will demand for product B. Okay, so here will be decrease in demand of A. There will be decrease in demand of A. So here this is unexpected reason or the unexpected event due to which the demand of the product decreases. So here there will be the losses to the producer of A. In economics we are using the example of tea and coffee also. If a person start using the coffee instead of tea, then there will be decrease in demand of tea and increase in demand of coffee. It makes the losses for producer of tea. Okay, तो इसकी वजह से क्या है? किसको लॉस होगा? To the producer of tea. So the business risk arises due to unexpected reasons. That's reasons. So if there is change in fashion, then also the old product will get outdated. Okay, that will be considered as the outdated product, and the demand for that product will be low. So here also the businessman will face the losses. So what is business risk? That is arises due to unexpected reasons. If there is change in the taste or change in fashion or change in technology, and due to that there is losses to the businessman, that will be known as the business risk. Okay, so now we will discuss the nature of business risk. That the business risk